Hello everyone. This is the editorial page reader. The news from the Times of India, Saturday, December 6, 2025. Passenger as hostages. The battle over India's pilot duty rules this week ended with Civil Aviation Ministry giving in. Although the ministry on Friday evening termed its decision to place FDTL flight duty time limitations rules in abeyance as solely in the interest of passengers. It was also making a virtue of necessity, for what else could it have done when thousands of passengers were stranded at airports and Indigo, the country's biggest airline, declared it had no quick fix for the problem? In fact, what played out at airports over the past 4 days was more hostage crisis than battle. Indigo practically held a gun to Aviation Authority DGCA's head by cancelling hundreds of flights daily and precipitating a crisis that saw one-way Kolkata-Bangalore economy fares touched 1 lakh. The reason it could do so was simply its outsized market share. Indigo alone has more than 60% of India's aviation market. Contrast that with China, where the top 3 airlines together have less than 60%. And in US, the most evolved aviation market, the top 4 have about 75%, but none of them alone approaches 25%. Indian aviation is practically a duopoly with the top two having over 90% share. For government to direct or discipline them isn't easy. The FDTL rules it announced in January 2024 were well intentioned and aimed at addressing pilot fatigue and enhancing overall flight safety by ensuring pilots got adequate rest. June 1st, 2024 was the compliance date, but it got pushed back to November 1st, 2025, and even then, 17 months later, Indigo wasn't ready. The closest analog we can think of is real estate builders who are infamous for delaying house possession by years. Government expects flights operations to normalize in 3 days and they might, but what will also get normalized is impunity. Despite the high level inquiry that's been ordered, pilots have cried foul. They say major airlines made no effort to recruit more hands in preparation for the FDTL deadline. In fact, no entry level co pilots have been hired this year. This disdain in for rules, pilots, and customers won't ebb without more competition in this sector. Once operations return to normal, government should turn its attention to that. Thank you.